Good afternoon, everyone. You guys look like lunch was served well. My name is Anthony, as uh, Sarah actually said. I'm from Kenya. Uh, and I use photography to actually talk about landscape restoration. As you all know, all of us are actually on social media. All of us have smartphones. I'm pretty sure today most of you took a lot of pictures, right? And shared all over the world to actually say that you are the GLF. So what I do with photography is I use photography to actually change behavior towards the environment and landscape across Kenya. And I use pictures to actually tell the story about what's actually happening. So as from the first picture, those are kids who actually were being taught about invertebrates. And we were taking pictures of invertebrates and actually showing them the interaction between invertebrates and the whole ecosystem. And in the process, we actually take them to the nearby forest, which was Marsabit forest, which actually found northern part of Kenya. So they can be able to appreciate that there's the link between those particular invertebrates and the conservation of that particular forest. So how did I end up doing photography, or ending up doing photography? I went to a high school whereby the motto was to paddle to success. So that is me actually in one of the boats next to an island called Rusinga Island, where I come from. And this pushed me to actually be able to actually push forward and use photography as a tool to link science and the public. So before I was working in different landscapes, I worked in Laikipia landscape and also the Eastern Afro Mountain hotspot, where I saw quite a number of information coming out. But I felt we are really giving much attention to implementing more projects, but the common public does not really understand how to actually engage with conservationists, people implementing different projects. They feel like we're in a different space. And that is when I decided I wanted to link that particular group of people who are not really within the landscape restoration platform. And this was actually using photography. So that is when Tony Wild came to place, a platform whereby you share stories that enable knowledge sharing of everything, nature and wildlife. And through this, we have programs that is visual ecological literacy program, where we go to specific schools and the communities and document what they have. And in the process of documenting those particular pictures, we show them that particular picture. And the particular person we interact with gets an easy understanding on how important that particular environment is. They may not be occupying a different environment, but when you show them what the environment is worth, they're able to actually appreciate the particular landscape. So we go to the extent of even working with scientists, especially scientists who are working on restoration and also wildlife conservation issues. We document their work, and in the process do exhibitions within the particular area they're working, and be able to link their results with the public. Because most of us do very beautiful papers, but they end up either on shelves or in journals. But with photography, or if you engage conservation photography in the process of doing your research, you're able to document the best part of the research and the worst part of the research, and be able to actually share it with the larger public. As you've noticed, most of my presenters here were using pictures on their presentations. So how best can actually use that to actually advocate for more landscape restoration across the globe? So in the process of doing this, since it was something I really wanted to do, and I had to figure out ways of actually making it more of an enterprise rather than just a social change dimension, I went ahead to actually work with other organizations to actually be able to document their work. And in the process of documenting their work, I will give them an environmental aspect in the sense that I'll offer environmental awareness in the areas they work with. So for instance, this is an event that happened this year at Olpajeta Conservancy. It's an event that happens annually that cricket is played to save the last rhino. And I was contracted to actually work for this, to document this particular event. But in the process of documenting this particular event, they're able to support me to actually take at least 100 students with me into the particular event and teach them about conservation issues and landscape restoration during that particular event. So for me, it's a give and take. I use my skills, and in the process, I'm able to actually share to a wider mass of people about landscape restoration. We are 1 year. We started in last year, 2017, September. And so far, we've been able to actually reach about 100 students. We've been able to hold the first ever festival for Bird and Wildlife Photo Festival in East Africa. And that has actually brought many people who are using creative or innovation to actually think about how best we can actually innovate our passions, actually build them up and to be able to influence change. I'm sure this doesn't really feel like it has fallen into what has been happening around, because my previous speaker talked about data. And if we are not able to document, package that data depending on the particular audience well, we won't be able to be passing the right information. So this is just about creating awareness, but the most important part is linking science to the public. And when I talk about the public, I'm talking about the public, I mean people who are not necessarily within the landscape restoration fields or have no link in any way in working with the land restoration, because it gives them a chance to understand what we actually do, and we can actually use them as an avenue of sourcing for funds. And you can actually join me in this particular effort. How? If you're a conservation organization here, we can actually come in and help you document your results of landscape restoration, put them there in the public using photography, and in that particular process, we're able to actually create awareness, not only just in the area you work, but also globally. And then lastly, but not the least, a landscape that we all need to support restoration of a landscape through innovative mitigation. And it all starts with you as an individual. So with the word mitigation, if you look at the Kiswahili word for miti, M-I-T-I, it starts with mitigation. So the bold word is mitigation. So we all have to have innovative mitigations to support landscape restoration. Thank you.